And not a whole lot to say about that one. Pretty disappointing. Apologize to our fans. Asked them to show up. They certainly did their part and early in the game and were loud and nowhere near good enough to win. Questions?
Shane, just looking at some of the play going, keep running into the same line with that great defensive front. Did you guys think that you would eventually break through? Just what was the point of?
Yeah, we knew there were going to be some ugly runs. Look, let's. This is a really good defense. They're 1 or 2 in the country and everything. And when you're missing 3 offensive line starters and then 3 of your offensive line starters from today's game go out, it's not ideal, David. But yes, we know we needed to get the ball on the perimeter. We did that on the first play of the game. We needed to get the ball out in space. We did that with some of the perimeter throws to receivers, but not being able to line up and run the ball downhill like we need to certainly was a challenge to do that today.
Shane, in the middle here, it's 7 games now. The offense has just continued to struggle. At some point, do you feel like a change is needed? Whether it's
I made a change last week, Jack.
I'm talking about the play calling.
Every week we're continuing to look at how to be better, and every week I do that, and every week I will continue to do that and continue to evaluate that.
What gives you hope that the play
Next
calling?
question.
Okay.
What gives me hope? I see the way we practice during the week. What gives me hope? I see the number of guys that we had out today that I wasn't even sure was going to be able to play, that fought their asses off to get back out there and get healthy and be able to play today. What gives me hope? I know the talent we have on our offense. And what I just told our team, we're not playing up to our potential right now. I am not getting the most out of this team right now, offensively, defensively, and special teams.
After the change at offensive line coach, how do you feel like that group played today? And
we were better in regards to just going out there and being able to turn it loose. Only 4 penalties. One of those was on the punt team. So I thought they did a better job of just relaxing and going and playing. I told you guys all week, this isn't the ideal scenario for the new offensive line coach to be debuting when you're down 3 starters against that front 7. Nobody has run the ball against them, but I thought we did some good things. Certainly, as the game went on and we got worn down, it was a challenge. But none of it was good enough today, Jordan. Don't get me wrong. Nobody's sitting in there patting ourselves on the back because of what we did. But I thought those guys got in there and competed and battled, and that's what I'm proud of. We didn't even know if Gabe Brownlow-Dindy was going to be able to play today. We didn't know if Brandon Cisse was going to be able to play today. We didn't know if Monkel Goodwine was going to be able to play today. Vakari Swain breaks his finger in practice on Wednesday and has to have surgery on Wednesday night and is out there catching punts today. Marquis Anderson wasn't sure he was going to be able to play. Our guys, they played their guts all out and played their butts off and hurt for them because they're fighting and proud of those guys, but we just weren't good enough in any area today.
On a positive note for today, Jaden Sers had a really great showing today, 57 yards total. What was it like for you to see him out there and doing work on the field today? Yeah,
proud of him. He's a really good football player, He got an opportunity today because Brian Rowe wasn't available today. So Jaden got an opportunity, and that's what happens. It's the next man up, and I thought he did a great job. He's been practicing the right way. He brings some juice to the offense. He's a competitor and like the way that he practices. And when you practice the right way, you get opportunities on Saturdays.
You guys obviously had high expectations for yourselves coming into the season, and at this point, how do you keep the players thinking that way and believing in?
I just told them in the locker room, Hale, my goal, when people ask me, and you guys have asked me this before, and I'll tell you the same answer, what's the goal for this season? What's a successful season? To get the most out of this team. And right now, I'm not getting the most out of this team as the head football coach. And it's back to work tomorrow to continue to see if we can maximize the ability and the potential on this year's team. So I see the way that our guys are competing. I see the way that our guys are working. We've got to get healthy. Give Oklahoma credit. They kicked our butts, but the injuries that we had today, it was tough to begin with, down some guys. And then to have guys go out in the game and our guys continue to fight, I got to be able to do more to help them as the head coach, and we as coaches got to continue to do more to help them. But we got the right culture in our building, and that's what gives me hope.
I know it can be kind of hard to evaluate Lenoris when he's under pressure like he was today, but how would you evaluate how he was able to handle that pressure, and what are, I guess, kind of ways in the future whenever the pocket does collapse to just do as much as you possibly can?
Yeah, I mean, we got to continue to help him. We got to be able to continue to run the ball. We got to be able to move the pocket. We tried to some today. I mean, they do a good job defensively. So, none of us were good enough. And he statistically, he made some nice runs and did a nice job throwing the ball. I'm sure he'll be the first to tell you maybe missed some, but I thought he, gave us an opportunity.
I know you hadn't seen the film yet, though, but can you talk a little bit about not being able to convert a third down until the fourth quarter?
Yeah, that's I looked up one time, Dick, and I think we were 0 for 10 maybe. That's not ideal, to say the least, particularly with with our depth on defense and being down guys. So no, we knew this was going to be an ugly game in a lot of ways. Nobody has scored points on these guys, and we expected it to be a 4-quarter fist fight. And you've got to be able to sustain drives and stay on the field, and we weren't able to do that. And disappointing too on some of the short yardage where we weren't able to finish drives and convert in short yardage situations.
Two for you real quick. The thinking on passing up on the field goal very early in the game when you went for it. And is Brian Rowe injured?
Passed up on the field goal because we were down there. I think it was the 4-yard line maybe. I'm thinking that we had a call that we felt would be good on fourth down. I mean, I told Mike on first down, you got 4 downs to get this. I knew I was going to go for it on fourth down regardless. One, wanted a touchdown. Felt like we were down there. We had a nice drive going, and I wanted to make a statement about that. Two, and then 2 went for it, that knowing that if we don't get it, they're backed up and they got to go. They're down there by the cockpit, our student section, and they're and it's loud down there, and they're on the road, and it's their first true road game this season in an SEC environment. So felt like if we didn't, I told Clayton that, hey, we're going for it, and if not, we got to go out there and put the ball down, and we got them right where we want them, backed up, and let's go get a stop. Brian Rowe, Anthony Addison, and Devontae Miles were suspended today. I made that decision for a violation of team standards. Accountability is a core value of our program, and whether you're 3-3 or 6-0, the core values and the accountability doesn't change. So disappointing for them, disappointing for us. Selfish decisions that certainly affected our team today because we needed that. But they're good kids that will learn from this hopefully and respond the right way. And I would anticipate them being back next week. And again, that was my decision.
Shane, Dylan Stewart, went out, came back in, then went out again. Any update on him?
Got a hip, both times, hip. Thought he could go. He went back in the second time and I guess got hit on it again. I don't have much of an update, David, other than just hip injury.
Shane, I know by looking at the stats, Oklahoma's defense is very good in terms of tackles for loss, but what were y'all doing today to try to get the ball out of Lenoris' hands a little bit more quickly?
All game plan all week was to be able to run the ball. Felt like we had some runs that would give us an opportunity to be successful and be efficient and stay ahead of the chains. Wanted to get the ball on the perimeter, like I just said. The first play of the game was a jet sweep to Nick Harbor. We came back later in the game and tried that. We wanted to be able to, not so much RPOs, but kind of RPOs where, run the ball, and if it's not there, you can kick the ball out in space to receivers, which is what we were able to do. And then we wanted to, we got some quick game in there. We had some empty. We went empty on a tempo play early in the game to try and spread them out. And I know it may not look like it, John, but we're not sitting here trying to bang our head against the wall and run into a tight box every single time. We tried to do a lot of different things and give them credit. Coach Venables is a great defensive coach, and they've got a great scheme. And it's why, I think, Texas scored, 1 touchdown against them last week outside of a punt return and a couple field goals. And it's why Michigan didn't score much on them and Auburn didn't score on them. They're freaking good on defense. Having said that, we weren't good enough, and we did not maximize the potential of this offense today, or defense or special teams, because we all had a hand in this one.
Can you take us through that sequence to end the first half? 27 seconds to go, 1 timeout, kind of play calling, throwing across the middle with limited timeouts and coming up empty there?
Sure. We had a play, if you go back and look at it, which I'm sure you guys did, we had a play into our boundary that's designed to catch the ball and get out of bounds. So we had a concept that we practice all the time that is we know that we need to catch the ball, get out of bounds, and that's what we had called. We ran it in the something similar in the Gator Bowl against Notre Dame a few years ago before the half, and they did a good job of defending the sideline. You know, hindsight being 2020, you throw that out of bounds or live to see another play. Brady was coming open from the backside. Lenoris dumped it off to him, which I have no problem with. And then we've got to be able to get out of bounds or get the first down. Then when we were short, we'd already told them if anything is inbounds, we have to clock it. But then we have to know that if the clock is running down and we're not able to clock it in time, we've got to make a call that says we just run a play, and thought that once we got tackled, we'd be able to get up to the line of scrimmage and clock it in time. I thought we were going to be able to. I saw Brady get up and then go back down. You guys probably know better than I do. I don't know if they held him down or knocked him down. He told me they did. The officials said they didn't. It was just bodies trying to get back. But, you know, certainly we need to get points in there. We practiced 2-minute all the time and had the right idea. We just didn't quite get it done right there. But again, after that, I went into the half feeling, you know what, we've played pretty good defense now the last couple of series. We have moved the ball offensively. I think we scored the touchdown before, or the series before, and then we had a 2-minute drive to move the ball down the field. So I liked where we were at the half, and that's what I told the team, and you know, just weren't able to finish in the second half.
Hey, Coach. So you guys, throughout the entire season, have really had a problem with penalties. Today, not the case. Only have 4 of the game. I don't think any came until like the late third, early fourth. What do you attribute that to? The focus. I mean, obviously, I know that you want the result to be different, but
yeah. You know, I've told you guys before, I feel like we're a disciplined team. I see the guys inside our building and outside our building, the things they do from an academic standpoint and being on time and whatnot. So I feel like we are a disciplined team, and it hasn't been showing up with the penalties in games. You know, certainly we had a different voice in the offensive line room because, let's face it, a lot of our penalties have been pre-snap penalties. A lot of false starts or illegal snaps. So I thought those offensive linemen did a nice job today of just being poised and relaxed in there and not getting the pre-snap penalties. And one of them, like I said, was a punt or delay of game on a punt, I believe, was one of those penalties. So, you know, proud of the guys, playing smart football, which not having penalties is one of our things that we look at each week on how to win football games, and it was good to see us do it. I mean, we emphasize it in practice, and we emphasized it in practice the same way this week that we did last week against LSU when we had way too many. But I think just good focus by our guys today, and you know, that's what's frustrating. We had a great. I know guys get tired of me saying it. Had a great week of practice. Our guys were focused. Had a hell of a walkthrough yesterday here in the stadium, and just like last week, we fully expected to win this game, and disappointed that we didn't do it.
Was there any consideration to just keep the offense on the field instead of the fake punt that was intercepted?
Yeah, it was, but you know, some of those I had seen plenty of 4th and 1s and 4th and 2s and 3rd and 1s and 3rd and 2s from our offense at that point, and that's not me saying that I don't have confidence in our offense on 3rd or 4th and down, but we had something the first time that we punted earlier in the game where they kept their defense out on the field. That fake is designed for when they keep their defense out there. Everything we had seen on film study, we had the same fake in the game plan last year against them because of how that corner typically plays into the boundary. Thought it would be an easy throw and catch, and give them credit. I mean, they dropped a defensive end. It's almost like a zone pressure. They dropped a defensive end into coverage on a fake punt. So give them credit for defending it. But yes, there was thought of it. You know, hindsight being 2020. Yeah, Shane, you keep Lenoris Sellers in the offense out there if you're going to go for it. But felt like based on what we had seen earlier in the game, Hale, when we punted and they kept their defense out there, as soon as we punted, I said to Jody on the headphones, "Hey, whatever we call that punt that fake is going to be here later in the game. Let's be ready to get to it." And they made a nice play on it. But again, when I told Clayton, look, we do that, we can go out there and just get a stop on defense, or at the worst, minimum hold on to a field goal. It's still a 2-score game, and weren't able to do that.
On that second goal to go, you had 1st and goal at the 1, and 3 times Lenoris is in shotgun. Can you explain the thought process of having him in shotgun and handing it off when there's 1 yard?
Yeah, if he's under center, you guys are probably asking why is Lenore Sellers under center, because y'all were saying that after the first play of the game last week against LSU when he was under center and we ran a little pin and pull or crack toss play and we fumbled the exchange. You know, whether he's under center or in the shotgun, Jordan, the plays that we were running, they're designed to hit downhill. So whether he takes the snap from under center and backs up, and I mean, it's highly unlikely that you're going to line up and quarterback sneak it in from 2 yards. So those are downhill runs with multiple tight ends in there that we want to be able to knock them back. So whether he's catching the ball in the shotgun and handing it off, or whether he's under center and coming backwards to the running back, the play should hit the same way. And that's why. All right. Thank you, guys. And happy birthday to my dad. Not the birthday that he wanted, but happy birthday to him. And then also got a lot of respect for Joe Castiglione, their athletic director. I know he's retiring. He's a great friend. He's a giant in the coaching profession, and think the world of him. So best of luck to him in retirement, and congratulations to Luke Doty, who was inducted into the Myrtle Beach High School Hall of Fame last night, which is a pretty cool, really cool honor for him. Thank y'all.